Hello everybody, welcome to a new Magic video. So, Magic Arena has something really cool this week, and as you can see, it's Momir's Madness. So if you've ever watched any of my old Twitch stuff, I really liked Momir Basic, which is a Magic Online only format. Basically you make a random creature every single turn. Key point creature token every single turn by discarding a card out of your hand and paying an amount of mana, and then you just get a random creature card worth that amount of mana. Now, that sounds as though it's very random, but it's not quite. It's fairly random, but it's not as random as you might think. And the reason why I say that is that there's a lot of strategy that goes into like knowing what cards are good for activations, and so like what colors you actually want to play down, and also just when you want to stop on your curve. So the traditional Momir Basic is going to be that you want to start playing things if you're on the draw on turn 2, if you're on the play on turn 3. This lets you get up to 8, which has a lot of flying haste creatures in the old formats, so you can try and do that. We're playing with only standard cards. There's only things on Magic Arena, so this is going to be a bit different. There's actually quite a few different 1-drops that are kind of useful too. There's like all of the Keeper cards, there's things like Merchant's Dockhand, there's Bomat Courier, stuff like that that'll draw you extra cards that could be good later on. So I might want to try and start off with some 1-drops like I might not do normally. Another thing is I've made this handy little pie chart which is going to show us all of the different cards with activated abilities. So these are all of the creatures I went and looked in Standard that have relevant activated abilities. Some of them are not super relevant, some of them are very relevant, but like I didn't include ones that say would get a creature card out of a graveyard, because as we mentioned, it's creature tokens. And creature tokens you can't pull back out of a graveyard. That just doesn't happen, they just go away. So cards that pull things out of a graveyard or exile creatures from a graveyard are actually useless. They don't really do anything as far as activated abilities here. You have to exile specific cards out of a graveyard. Same with things like Bone Dragon that come back out of your graveyard if you have it die. Doesn't matter, if it dies, it's gone forever. So stuff like that is not included. But as you can see, red, green, and blue are kind of the 3 most important, and then white and black are kind of trailing on the bottom end of that. So we'll want to play more mountains than anything else, and then probably islands and forests. And if we have extra plains and swamps, then we'll definitely want to get those in there too. It's not like a huge difference throughout, but it's good to make sure that for sure we're playing mountains before anything else. There's more activated abilities there. There's a lot of fire-breathing creatures and things where that might matter, getting a little bit of extra damage in. So we're going to try and do a couple of those things. So that's the basics of what we're doing here, and we're going to jump into some games, play some Momir, and I hope we have some fun. Big shout out to all the people that, of course, sub and give money to my Patreon. It really does help me out. And, of course, a big shout out to our sponsor, inkgaming.com, which makes all kinds of cool mouse pads and playmats for Magic the Gathering and just amazing stuff. So you should definitely check them out. You can look down below. I've got a nice little sponsor code from them as well, so you can get some savings, too. Let's hop on it and see how it goes. Okay, well, we're here for game 1. Obviously, with Momir, you don't bother to actually mulligan anything. It doesn't even let us in this one, which is interesting. I haven't done this before, so I imagine we use this. We select 1 and discard plains. Because like we said, plains and swamps are not as important as mountains, islands, and forests are going to be. We immediately got Gearsmith Prodigy, a 1/2 that can get a little bit of a bonus. And we'll start slamming some more things here. I think, so we'll lead with Island. I'm so used to regular Momir Basic really wants us to play mountains and swamps. That has changed a bit over the years, but I remember back in the day that was always what you wanted to start with. Lots of mountains, lots of swamps. Diligent Excavator. Whenever we cast a historic spell, then we get to mill. Unfortunately, we're never casting anything, so it doesn't really matter. We're just going to attack. Our opponent can't really do anything, so now they'll start doing things. Ooh, wow. Gifted Aetherborn is a sick hit for them. Uh-oh. Hello? Whoa. Okay. So apparently Magic Arena just having a little bit of an issue there and not wanting to... Nope. Goodness. Not wanting to let me do what I want to do. Discard... I'm going to discard the Swamp. We can have one Swamp, one one Plains, and maybe play this last Mountain too. No attacks. We got a Emissary of the Sunrise, which is kind of cool. It explores, which is nice, giving us a card. And, of course, 2-1 first strikes, nothing to sneeze at. That can be pretty good. Oh, wow! Pegasus Courser is sweet. Ooh, boy. We're in a lot of trouble. I'm going to lead with a Swamp now. It's really not wanting to let me put my lands into play properly. Let's discard the extra Plains again. Alright, that's not nothing. We get a Foundry Hornet. Unfortunately, we can't do the -1/-1, but we'll just pass the turn. Foundry Hornet doesn't really save us yet. It does prevent 1 damage a turn if they decide to start getting frisky in attack. Oh, they hit one of the best creatures. They hit Angel of Condemnation. So this is one of the activated ones that we were talking about with the pie chart. They can exile creatures. And the thing is that you don't actually have to exile and exert it. Because they're creature tokens, they just blink out forever. So that's pretty unfortunate for us. We're going to need something very, very good right away. Opponent's been drawing very hot. It's going to be a tough one. Yargle came to Bargle. Unfortunately, it's a big, fat creature. It does just get eaten by Angel of Condemnation, though. And there goes the Yargle. The only positive is that our opponent is actually using up all of their mana every turn, so they're not really playing anything else. I'm wondering if they even play anything. Oh, they are going to play a 2-drop. Most 2-drops shouldn't matter too much. And as you can see, that ability comes on to give us back our creature, but it doesn't do anything. Let's play this mountain. And go to 6. I'm not sure which one matters more. I'm going to discard Forest here. And we get a Granatic Titan. Big old menace creature. Unfortunately, not particularly good on this board. And it might just get eaten again here by Angel of Condemnation. I mean, that's almost certainly better than just making random 6s. Yeah, they might actually pass here without playing something. Because they don't really need more for their board as far as creatures go. And they can just... Okay, I'm like, they can play a couple of lands for a few turns and then start making bigger creatures again. That might be the only kind of miss they've had so far. That and I suppose the 3-1. But this has been devastating. Need something real good. I mean... It's not terrible. It's not amazing either, though, because of the fact that our opponent still just gets to kill things, so we can't make like a 4-6. They need to start attacking. I'm surprised they didn't just exile the flyer and just start slamming in. Letting us sit here and try and recover is kind of a bad idea. They've got a lot of pressure. They can just force it in. We're in no position to really attack back. So I'm a little bit surprised about that. We're just going to stay on 6 drops here for a little while. Okay, and there's one of the activated abilities that I didn't include because it returns a creature card from a graveyard to the battlefield tapped, which doesn't really do anything. I wish our opponent would just attack because the game's already over, like 99%, but I can't scoop because they refuse to attack here, and maybe I get super lucky and hit something. But every good card that I hit, they can erase with this, right? So it's almost worth it to just get out of here, but our opponent just refuses to actually play the game and finish it. I've got to try and think, you know, I might start making 5s to just try and hit something like Academy Journey Mage and bounce this Angel of Condemnation. Because if we can do that, then it's dead. So I'm going to do that. Explorers, so we get another extra card. Just going to hold on to it for now. This is incredibly strange. They haven't decided to just attack and kill us with flyers at this point. Like, Pegasus Corsair flying over Riparian Tiger, the 3-1. Any one of a million things could have ended this game a long time ago. And make a 6/5. And still no attacks. I have no flying blockers, no way to attack back in any way, and they just refuse to do it. I mean, it's good for me, because it does give me outs, but it's kind of frustrating because the outs are unlikely to happen, like really unlikely. Glyphkeeper is helpful. It means that the angel can't eat it. Can eat something else, but at least we have something to block in the air. Oh, wow. And they hit a 6/7. And my opponent doesn't realize that Sphinx stays alive. And so they just try and target it anyways. Interesting. Four, 5, 6 here. These are probably not blocks I need to make. Like, I could just start chumping for a little while or something, but at this point, I just kind of want this game to be over. I want to try and high roll, see if I can't get that Academy Journey Mage, and then other than that, like, it's basically over. Okay, now that they've decided that they can actually attack, I'm willing to concede this. We don't need to keep playing this game. Not when it's going this slow. Well, as that last game shows, it doesn't necessarily... Like, there is definitely strategy to Momir Vig, but there is also a lot of luck involved. You've got to do good combat math, and you have to try and do good attacks and blocks, but sometimes, even if you make really bad ones all the time, it doesn't really... There are certain games where it doesn't really matter. That last one, I think, is a pretty good example of that. We're going to discard... actually, we're going to discard an extra swamp here instead. Like we said before, islands are a little bit more important. There's things like Gear Seeker Serpent. That's a pretty good one-drop. Miscloaked Herald isn't a huge threat, but just chipping away turn after turn after turn can suddenly become a real problem. I'm hoping that we can get something like Departed Deckhand, because that makes creatures unblockable, and that is really sick. I'm so used to trying to play swamps. Another reason for me to discard them, honestly. Now, I don't think I'll need Double Island. If I do, I'll need it a lot later in the game. Interesting. We actually get to ramp, which is a huge thing in this format. So it's almost like a time walk if we can do it. That's really, really strong. Because now our opponent's going to be making a 2, and then we make a 4 in response, which is huge. Eddy Trailhawk. That one can fly other creatures by using energy, so that's a really strong one. Flying is one of the most important things you can have in these games. We're going to play... I think we'll go Swamp because there's a fairly even split between most of the different colors for abilities. And I'm going to discard the extra island again. I might want to double up on mountains for things like fire breathing. Whenever I cast a historic spell, it gets larger. That's not going to matter. It's just a hill giant. It's just a vanilla 3/3. All of this text is irrelevant. We don't cast anything, and we aren't able to return artifacts. But nothing gets cast. What's really sweet about this is now it's like double time walk, because we're going to be playing 6 drops while they're playing 3s. See what our opponent goes for. A 2/4. Those who save. Oh, those who serve, sorry. Those who save. We're just need a mummy goalie now. I need some alternate art of that. Okay, I'm gonna go for the Wooburg. Ooh. No. Can I go back on that? I think I can just, yeah. Oh, I don't think I can actually change it, though. That was stupid. Could have been playing a 6. There's a lot of really good 5s. Oh, nice. Okay, that's how I can do it. If I pay too much. Awesome. So we get around that little bit of a misclick. And now we can play a 6-drop. Woo! Free Jam Regent. Nice. So that's one of the cards that we were looking at for fire breathing. Good thing we kept double mountains. So now we can actually make it a lot larger. And that's going to be very hard for our opponent to answer. Big flyer that pumps itself is not going to be easy for them to deal with. They've got to get some really good hits. It's certainly possible. There's things like Banewhip Punisher, honestly, is great, because that can just punish it, obviously. But we're doing pretty good. I don't think we're going to be pumping it yet. We've got a pretty decent threat on the board anyways, with just 5 damage coming in. And I'm cool with making a 6-drop. And another flyer. Excellent for us. Even though it's only a 3/3 flyer for 6, that's still just really strong. Anything with flying or any kind of evasion is really nasty. Really, really nasty. Opponent has also opted to go for Wooburg colors. There's really nothing they can do here. I mean, I suppose they could attack in with some flyers, but they don't get past our 3/3. So they just need to make something and hope that it's good. Like I said, Academy Journey Mage would be a really solid hit. Things that bounce are fantastic. Yeah, 6/2, not so much. It's not going to be able to do too much here. We can just trade it with our 3/3. They'll need to start attacking, though. That I don't know about. I wasn't necessarily saying this turn they should start attacking, because now we can make some good blocks, obviously. I'm just going to eat the Eddy Trailhawk. That card's actually dangerous. Like, sure, we could kill a 2/2 instead of a 1/2, but the ability is what matters. Also should do this first in case we hit something with haste. I can't think of a 6-drop with haste, but there might be one. Core Prowler, just big 6/6. I wasn't really thinking there. I could have just killed my opponent. This is why we need the abilities, but then you also need to use them. So I did what I complained about last time, which is just not kill my opponent when I had the chance. Gave them a possibility for an out. They're not in good shape, but if they do hit Academy Journey Mage, like, I think they should go for a 5. They choose to go for a 6. They can, like, bounce this, and that would be really bad. As it turns out, they're just dead. The flyers will be enough to kill them. I can just take all the damage in the world, and it's more than fine. I'm not going to. I don't need to, but... we are doing A-OK. Oh, wait, what am I... this one. There we go. And the opponent scoops them up as I eat their board and swing back for lethal. So as you can tell, me talking about that last game where I made the mistake of just not activating our creature's abilities right at the end there. Momir is a lot about paying attention to what all of your individual's cards say. Like, there is some skill to that, just paying attention, knowing a complex board state, and watching it. Ooh, Greener Belt Rampager kills itself and gives us an energy. Not how I wanted to start, but sure. Opponent with the little dig there. I think that it's worth it to try and get things like Llanowar Elves and Dockhands and all those better cards, though. They can be on one. We'll go Island. And we've got a lot of extra islands. We can discard one. I like keeping a bunch of mountains. Ooh, nice. Well, lost a card, made up a card. It's unfortunate that we don't have a 1-drop beating down on our opponent, but that's okay. Opponent opting to play really slow here. I'm not sure what they're saving up all their extra cards for. They might just be like an old school Momir player, so they're used to playing on turn 3. But, like, what 8-drops are you really going for here? I don't know. There are some pretty big ones, I suppose. I don't mind being a little more aggressive, considering that it's standard. I don't need to hit no Slin Vodas. That was a great hit by my opponent, by the way. Notice how last game we kind of ran over our opponent by having extra lands in play right away. They can do that with this. Although, we did just hit Master Trinketeer, which can give us a bunch of extra servos. That might not be worth it. We need a lot of extra lands to actually have that be a thing. Yeah, opponent being smart, using the 5. We gotta hope that they kind of whiff on this one. That's not a whiff. Okay, well, we'll go for the 4. Felidar Sovereign. I may exile another target permanent. Okay, so just in case, like, I'm gonna decline that anyways, but I also want to make sure that I don't actually do it, because it'd be really, really bad. Flickering out an opponent's thing would be amazing, because it would just kill it. Opponent's gonna go for a 6. And they're gonna start making 7s and 8s if they want. Ooh, 5/6. No ability on it really, but a 5/6 alone is just so big and nasty. It's gonna be tough. I'm gonna take a decent block here. Master Trinketeer can be okay, but generally we're gonna be able to make better things than a 2/2 for 4, right? And this way we're trading our 3/2 for their 5/4. That attack was a little bit aggressive. I mean, I think that it makes sense. They're far enough ahead on the board, they can afford to throw away some value. What we need is we need a big turnaround here. We need something like that Academy Journey Mage that I always talk about. I'm going to get rid of the extra mountain. We already have 2 in play. I want blue because there are things like Gear Seeker Serpents and Frilled Sea Serpent that you can make unblockable on double blue. Air Elemental is a good hit. Still not good enough to fight down a Torrential Gear Hulk, but decent. Especially not when they've gained 5 life. Opponent trying for that dig again. Strong emote game. And Palaka Worm on 7. Alright, that's a bit of a problem. We need something like... Oh, goodness. I don't know. We need a big, big creature. Discard the plains. Demon Lord Belzenlock. That's unfortunate. That mills ourselves, and we die. Goodbye, library. Well, that's kind of the cap on this game, I think. Opponent with no style, actually just still playing this out. They can just pass the turn. Oh man, I really hope that they would actually have the style to just, like, pass the turn and let us die. But I guess we'll see what they hit. I'm kind of curious. Go for 8. And... are they going to slow roll it too? Do they just not realize that we don't have a library? They might not. I don't think that they've actually clued into the fact that we're dead. Like, that we have no outs. I don't think that that's happened, which is really funny to me. Like, this is hilarious. I don't think our opponent has any clue that we're just dead. Because they're playing this like it's normal. Thinking hard about what they want to kill. Where they need to do everything. Yep, kill the Belzenlock. This is funny. Alright, and... dead. Well, there's our Momir. We got our 2 losses right away. That was pretty hilarious the way that we had them happen. But that's what Momir is. Momir is, there's a little bit of strategy, but there's a whole lot of luck. And we didn't have any on our side today, but Momir can be an absolute blast. Just don't expect to be crushing it, as it were. You can still get some decent prizes. I mean, we only lost 300 gold, and we did get a rare and an uncommon out of it. So, I mean, it's not a terrible amount of value for us. You can make up 500 gold pretty easy peasy anyways. And if you do know what you're doing a little bit, pay attention to the combat math, make sure you use your creatures, then it's going to make you better at combat math, and you're probably going to have an above average win rate. It'll average out at least, so this was pretty fun. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Momir is a fun format. I'll be jamming a whole lot of it in the coming little while, and I certainly appreciate all of you stopping by. You might want to check out, I'm going to be doing a special event on the 27th of September. So next week, you'll be able to see me, sorry, 26th of September. I'm going to be doing a special Wizard-sponsored event where I'll be with a whole bunch of other streamers. So you can definitely check that out on Twitch, and I'll see you around.